Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 142 of On the Backs of Gods. I am your DM, Jillian, and we have all of our players here today. Same as always. We have Kyle, Matt, Katie, Josh, and Greg. I'll go ahead and give us that sweet recap, and then I think we can just jump back into things. Uh, Last time, you all were back in town in Jarlsbecker, preparing for a big, fancy, high society party that is right around the corner. Now that you have hopefully hindered occultist ability to do something. Nobody's really landed on a what is Bosch doing sort of scenario, so I'll just leave it as whatever Bosch is doing. Uh, But besides that, you hopefully nip some of that in the bud. And in town, you make some friends. Keld really makes some friends and ends up getting a +1 to this party from said friend, a woman who refers to herself as Thor, which is I don't want to say sacrilegious, but it's a little sacrilegious. Uh,
Mm.
to be born with the name is one thing, and it's like, what did your parents do and why would they do that? To claim the name is also another thing. We don't know where she falls on the spectrum of that, but her and her compatriots had just killed what they kept referring to as the boogeyman, had his corpse on display, and kept some parts of it for a party event because you know you got to be wearing the best at these sort of things. Uh, you all take the time the next day to try and get some affairs in order. Nana and Roshan in a situation where they have hesitant tickets kind of on the line. Roshan less hesitant, asking Eagle to find him somebody to be their +1. He goes to a little breakfast place called Egg Bread and meets Amelie Tulane, a slightly it looks like a tall halfling woman, round, big rosy cheeks, a big smile, big blue dress and hat. Uh, and job status undisclosed, but certainly up for debate and discussion, making Egil uncomfortable through their whole encounter. And eventually, she seems excited to have a date to this event, informs Roshan that he is just a +1, he is not her second. And that she is just going to enjoy the hot goss the whole time. That is the vibes. And Roshan and Amelie can shake hands on that. Eagle also laying guidelines for Roshan to not meet her outside of these events, to not follow her anywhere, to not meet her separately uh, for safety reasons. But after an encounter with her where she keeps commenting on Roshan's body, they part ways and everyone seems happy. Uh, Happy enough, at least. Eagle's just not going to be happy in any of these encounters. Uh, but Roshan and Eagle run off to do whatever they're going to do. Nana goes and greets Tan Rai's daughter, a woman with status, a younger woman with status, who seemed interested in finding a second because she's worried she has possibly upset someone and needs to make sure that somebody can defend her physically and her honor. Uh, Nana, passing the first challenge, arrives for the second, which means she will fight her champion. And you are presented with a man in his 40s named Marcher, large feathered hat, curled mustache, graying a bit, very fancy, well to do, put together. Addressed him from the drinking area, is where she gathered him from, of this very fancy inn. And after meeting each other and sharing pleasantries, you go out to the park and have a duel, which Keld, you are present for. A duel that you openly watch. And leading into this, I think I will just do Keld's view of the situation. Keld, you watch an incredibly skilled swordsman absolutely rock Nana's shit. You are watching Nana be blinded in the first round. Nana, kudos to her, was still on this man, kind of rabid animal style, and was able to
Yeah.
take him to the ground a couple times. Go ahead and give me one more insight check if you'd be so kind. Let's see what we
Cool.
get.
Mm.
The face and the cool seemed so different, though.
Oh no, my AD&D Beyond unloaded. Okay. That's an 8.
Well, no more extra info for you. Uh, but last time you did notice that he was taken to the ground, seemed very spry in the start of getting back up, and made the choice not to. You are fully aware watching this man as he gets up, dusts himself off, that he was still in relatively good health, that he was in a pretty good spot where he tapped out of this combat.
Interesting.
And kind of taps the blindness out of Nana's eyes and parts on good terms as Nana receives her ticket in as a second, the only person attending this party as a second, which means that they are available for duels. Everybody can duel, but specifically seconds are kind of there to do that if it comes up. But Tan and Marcher both exit the scene, Marcher going to clean his clothes as he kept falling into the dirty snow and is like, I'm going to go now. Uh, but we're going to start with Nana and Keld. Uh, you're in. What are we doing? What's next?
Okay.
Well done.
Thank you. I don't know. I'm not thrilled about not being able to see any of the fight at all. I don't even know what style of sword work he was using. I didn't get to
Hmm.
see any of it, but I hope I didn't look like I was flailing around too much like an idiot.
No, I wouldn't say that. Maybe a bit more like an animal.
Oh, well, I don't care for being blind in combat. And, thinking about it, maybe I should invest in something to help with that because honestly, it's for the birds. I've had it happen 3 times at least, I think. Just couldn't see a whole fight, start to finish.
It is kind of strange that keeps happening.
I don't know why. It's weird that it happened once. Never mind twice. Now 3. I obviously, I
Huh.
don't know. Maybe I need my eyes checked or something, but I I'd like for it not to happen again. Um
Hmm, Probably just bad luck.
I mean that and just I don't know. Maybe I need to brush up on something that'll make it easier to shake that off in combat. I
Hmm.
don't know, but maybe we can look into a magic item for
We'll have to
that
think on
or
that, yeah.
yeah, I don't know. I don't know. We can pick the others' brains about that. Well, I've got my way in now, and I think so does everybody else at this point. Assuming, um, I think Roshan said he was going to um, visit with somebody he was hopeful might be able to get him a way in.
Yeah, I think that's all of us then, right?
I think so. Well, I guess outside of that, should we head to see where our commissions are at? Whether or not any of those are ready to be picked up?
Mm. Almost forgot
Right.
about that part, yeah.
Yeah.
Okie
Well,
dokie.
why not?
The two of you head off to Merriment Square to check in on your fancy party outfits. Uh, Meanwhile, Roshan and Egil part ways, him stating that he has a tedious business meeting that he has to get to.
Um,
Isn't sure how long it'll be.
Roshan just wanted to slip him the hologram stone, the kind of sending stone that he used all the charges for,
Mm.
in case he wanted to
Uh,
recharge it.
this renewable?
This is empty? Here you go.
Is it thanks.
Um, and then I think Roshan is going to head back to the hard fiddle
Okay.
and
Uh,
go read.
all right. You head back to the Hard Fiddle. You two head to Merriment Square. Meanwhile, back at the Hard Fiddle, all the way back around, uh, Fen and Nyx. Uh, Nyx waiting for Russ to contact her about a possible meeting with his handler to discuss her curse and see if they get any of those sweet benefits from his job on the topic. Um, what are you guys up to, if anything?
I think Fen probably has some like rattan or something, the wicker maybe, in his bag, like to make cordage out of. He's gonna start making a basket.
All right.
And Nyx will be trying every juice at this bar to see if any are worthwhile while working on those knots for Russ.
All right, go ahead and just roll me a luck check for how many juices does the hard fiddle have?
Fingers crossed.
I can only
Not
assume.
many, that's an 8.
You are solidly presented with some. It is referred to as juice. It is called juice, and is given to you. You can see that there's sort of a mother situation at the bottom. Not a fully developed mother, but the beginning of a SCOBY that is started to become whole at the bottom of this thing, trying to make its way up. But you're given some juice.
Great.
It is very tart. Whatever this juice is incredibly tart. And that's the juice this place has, is one tart, maybe not good for you juice.
Water at this place. Got it. Great. Just gonna work on these knots instead.
Okay. Let's go ahead and deal with our friends at Merriment Square. If all you are accomplishing is checking in on your items are done.
Woo. And we already paid, right?
Yes. Did I pay for this? Raise his hand.
I paid for
Yes.
this, right?
It's been so long.
Uh-huh.
It has been a hot minute. But you are able to pick up your own outfits. They will not let you pick up anyone else's things.
That's understandable. While we're kicking around, if I'm remembering correctly, one of the shops that we had some commissioned items from could do some enchantment. Am I remembering that right?
You could get enchantment from the armorer.
Okay. I would like
last look. Yes.
The last look?
Yeah.
Okay. I would like to inquire with the proprietor at the last look, just briefly into like what the cost and time for completion would be like for some kind of enchantment on maybe the mask, possibly, to ward off blindness. Mechanically, I'm looking for something to do with con saves, but Nana would be inquiring about, like, anything I can do for this. Sunglasses, anything.
Try me.
You go and ask this of while you are collecting your armor from Brassus, who has deeply tanned skin and like really tight braids and has a bit of a stern look to him, but has
Mhm.
been nothing but pleasant.
Yeah.
Uh, helps you walk through the steps of enchanting and the cost. Uh, he thinks he could probably, uh, if we're trying to aim as cheap as possible, my suggestion would be something that can cure blindness once. That is
Mhm.
going to be your cheapest option.
Okay.
And it's still not not the cheapest of enchantments. It would probably be in the 700 to 800 range.
Ooh.
Yeah, a
Well,
lot of the people here don't
yeah.
get utilitarian
Mhm.
enchantments. They get
Right.
cosmetic.
Of course. It's all for looking good for the party.
That's all it is.
That tracks. That tracks. Okay. Well, um, in that case, I may not go for an enchantment on this occasion, but I'll take that advice definitely to heart. I appreciate it, Rassus, really.
Of course. And I don't know what's over at Magic's Boutique. They might have something, but their stuff is also, I don't think you're going to find much cheaper than that either over there.
Right. Okay. Well, thank you again. Very much appreciated. And this work that you've done is fantastic.
We do our best. Anything else in the merriment, or are you both headed back, or is there another stop?
There wasn't really anything in my mind.
No, not at the moment. Let's reconvene and see whether or not Nix has heard back from Russ yet.
Yeah, I'd like to check in.
Okay.
All right, let's go.
You both begin making your way back to the hard fiddle. By this time, Roshan, you have arrived back there, not having too many time-consuming things on your plate, like walking around town to the dueling fields, and then the inn, and then a duel, and then back to Merriment Square. So you two are a bit further back in the timeline.
Right.
But Roshan, you eventually find your way back to the hard fiddle, and you can begin reading your book if you are so inclined. And about 45 minutes into beginning to read, and the making of baskets and knots, Russ, uh, red hair, slightly out of breath, uh, moves quickly into the space. Ready?
Yep. She's gonna shove it in her pocket. Yep. Did you run?
Baby?
I love Russ.
Do we have to run there? Like I'm ready to go, but
No, we can
oh,
walk.
okay.
It's fine.
Great. Yeah. Just bring it all with. It's fine.
Right. Kind of glances around. Do you want to go just us?
I mean, uh, Roshan's busy reading. Fenn's making my basket, so can't stop him from doing that. That's important. And no one else is here, so I think it's just us this time.
Right.
I'm getting my Longenberger on.
I would never suggest a bookmark to anyone. Uh, uh,
I think
so
Roshan will playfully give him the middle finger.
he like leans forward and kisses the air like he's like the fuck you makes its way over like a blown kiss, and he just smooches it out of the air.
Very nice.
That's fine. We'll go on have our own was going to say fun. It's not going to be fun, but we could have our own
We can
little
still
adventure.
have fun while we're out. It's fine.
We'll find something fun to
It's
do.
more than one stop.
I'll tell you, handler, not fun. But they don't need to be.
Great. Let's go.
So the two of you go, Roshan, not skipping a beat in his book, Fen, not skipping a beat in his basket. The two of you make your way out. Let's see. You begin walking with Russ. I'll go ahead and warn you ahead of time. The way we interact is a bit weird.
You said it was all like message in your head, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
And so I don't know exactly how she's going to play with two people.
Yeah.
So I'm going to let her lead and whatever she prefers. I can't talk in people's heads, so I can't initiate. So
Me either. Oh, we'll see.
yeah, I'm sure it's going to be fine.
Where are we going?
The two. So usually we sort of circulate between different fountains because they're usually easy to find because they have such different styles about them. So it's like, which fountain is it? This one. We are going to the fountain. It looks like a large ship, sort of like on the spout, and it looks like it's sort of like been rocketed upwards.
I don't think I've been to that one. Sounds great.
All right, let's go. Did you find any good juices?
It's really bad.
Mmm.
I know your boss spends a lot of money there. Maybe he could do something about that. That seems really important now.
I'll definitely slip it in if there's a spot to slip it in here. If not, I'll figure something out along the way.
But
We
definitely not juice there. Maybe the
see if
fancier inn.
Oh, I'm sure they have juices. They make
have to.
Oh, I can only assume that they have just too many juices, like of fruits I've never heard of. And I've at least heard of like 4 fruits. So more than 4 juices.
Maybe we could just go there and we get a bottle and we can bring it back.
You can see like the energy changes a bit. Let's talk after. If you want to go there, I'll go there. That's where all the assholes are. But we can certainly go there. Especially at least just to see if they have juice.
Okay.
But let's try not to mingle too much. That's where the the bigger the wig. No wig, big wigs.
I think he's telling you he wants to go back to the hard fiddle and juice box and chill.
I want the terrible juice. Oh, we just hung out and drank some juice. Yeah. But you walk for a bit longer, and eventually you can see compared to all the other fountains, this you would put in the medium-sized fountain category. You've seen some small ones, and you've seen some very large, intricate fountains. And this one's just like a casual, we need to fill in this intersection fountain. That has it's a filler fountain. That has a long ship that's tilted at an angle, and it has like water like rushing up and around it and like going back in and then pulled back up again. Whether through magic or science or machinery, unclear. You've never made a fountain before. You're like, magic is real. I'm not going to question the fountain. But you watch Russ approach the fountain and sit on the nearest edge. And he just seems to be waiting, and he pats the seat next to him.
Okay, let's sit down. Just start playing with the water.
Yeah. Running a hand through the water, you're able to also make just like little ice designs sort of over the top of it and move it around. It's entertaining. It's something to keep your mind focused as you sit in this freezing cold weather waiting for somebody to arrive. And you eventually see Russ sit up a bit. Is there a way you could talk to her? He kind of murmurs under his breath.
Oh, right in his head. Yeah.
You're like, what do you mean?
I don't have a way to talk to her now.
And I just told you. Do you take a look around, Nyx?
She's because she got confused, so she was immediately like, "Wait, what? Me? Who?"
You can see there is a new person sitting across the way, facing away from Russ, sort of just the end of 2 points, each of them. You can tell from her back that she has blonde hair and is wearing thick winter clothes and has a book and quill set next to her, facing forward and away. And you hear a voice in your head. Could you explain your condition as if you were talking to Russ? I will ask questions in your mind. You may speak to him freely, if that's all right.
Right. Yeah. So it's remember I showed you it before. It's like ice going all the way down my arm and up my face. Hey, and it's because by corruption we think that's when it started was when it got worse. And it's going to completely encase me eventually. It might be a ossification curse. The book had a lot of stuff in it.
You went to the library?
Yeah, I went to the library and it had something about it. It said like, it could have been my bloodline or maybe cursed by some hags. Or, maybe I touched something, but the thing that I got that I thought could have been if I touched it, it's not that. We checked. So I think it's one of the other two.
I see. And you can see Russ is just sitting there and sort of like nodding along while you talk, but isn't like looking at you, like is just looking straight ahead, focused outwards. Have you noticed it worsening, and do you know why?
Yeah, it started out really small about 2 months ago, and it's supposed to slowly get worse. It's mostly been getting worse when first I got hit by a corrupted creature, and then, well, an amalgamation, really. And then another time by a specific person attacking me, and then I died, which I did. Yeah.
What sort of attack on your person was this? The second one.
Something. It was like some kind of necrotic energy. I think it's what it felt like. So I could do some similar stuff. So it was something like that. I think.
I see. Would you be uncomfortable if I came over and touched it?
No, it's not going anywhere.
And you watch the woman rise and make her way promptly over. She faces you now, wearing a heavy scarf, glove. She's dressed in a. It's not fancy. It's not peasant. It's in the middle. It's inconspicuous, is what you would call it. She has a bit of a bit of a furrowed brow, light colored eyes, and blonde hair that's pulled back into a loose ponytail. Neat, but kind of a lower set ponytail. And she comes over and sits next to you and sort of looks around a bit and then leans in and begins to examine the ice that has now made its way up to your neck, no longer needing to pull up or down a sleeve. It is just very prominent. Um, does it hurt? You hear a voice in your head. She's in front of you, but it's still speaking into your mind.
No, it's just kind of there. Except for when it grows. It's really bad when that happens.
Is it constricting movement at all?
It's like a little stiff at the moment. I can still move, but
Are you comfortable with me using magic?
sure, you could try.
She begins to pull at the individual fingers of the gloves and pulls it off. Just pale, cold looking hands. And she places it directly onto the ice and holds it there a moment. And places her other hand, kind of reaching out a bit blindly for the book and ink next to her. And you watch as she dips fingers into the ink and then slaps her hand against the book. And you watch her eyes move in front of her as if like scanning a page. And you watch her fingers twitch and move on the page as they kind of move across it. And you can see that same jagged movement of her hand as when Roshan was trying to identify your curse. And you can see her trying to steady her hand to focus on it. Let's take a look. Okay. And after a few minutes, she stops. And kind of rubs her fingers together, and you watch as the ink dissipates, kind of floats off and disappears into the ether. This is, I can only assume, and you hear the voice in your head, but you can hear next to you, like, soft, ragged breathing, like she exerted herself and is now trying to, like, when you don't want people to hear you breathing hard and you're trying to hold
I
it back,
didn't
it's
try
kind of like
hard at
that.
all. No.
Yeah, I wasn't really trying hard. It's like that.
Mhm.
This kind of ragged breath. This is strong, old magic. This is magic left to ruminate in the soil, if you will. Uh, it is stronger than gifts given now. So that is why it is so difficult to deal with. Something that is left to grow and fester has more complexity than the magic you or I possess. And you mentioned possible reasons this occurred. Have you had an encounter where you may have upset a god or a hag?
Not that I remember.
Um, do you remember a time ever being alone with any entity of the sort?
Not. I don't remember ever being. There was a time that I don't remember
You're missing time?
from when I was really little, though. So I don't know if it's something I actually am missing or if it's just me, won't hit.
How young?
It's like
First memory?
5.
And nothing before that.
No. just waking up by the river.
I'm going to, if I was a betting woman, I would say that that is when your curse more than likely was applied, and then your memory adjusted so that you did not recall the curse. That is just an assumption. Are there any stories of beings of that type from around this river where your memory started?
Not the river itself, but our town, our community has something. It's called the lurk.
Mm.
She's supposed to be like the embodiment of darkness, and just like that pit in your stomach. It's why we're not supposed to go out in the woods alone.
I see. Once again, this is just my most educated guess. I would assume that your curse originated from something of that nature. And in some cases, if there are stories of something, that there is, if not that, there is something wearing that moniker. There is something that dwells in the woods. There's something old, and there's something powerful, as many woods have. I can't fix this, which I'm sure you had a feeling. But I could at least help keep it at bay for a time. Something preventative.
Okay. Yeah. Whatever it is. Yeah.
All right. She raises her hand again, the hand lacking now the hand that's slowly growing a bit paler as it is exposed to the frigid air, and she looks at you. Brace yourself physically. And you can feel Russ's hand like against like between your shoulder blades, like he like braces a hand there, and she raises her hand and just brings it down hard on the jagged icicles on your shoulder. Just stabs her hand onto the ice, and you watch a sharp inhale. The first time really hearing her, just this sharp inhale and the jagged, like harsh breath as she kind of grips into it. And she closes her eyes and focuses. And you can feel a warmth there. For maybe the first time in a long while. It feels like warmth slowly moving down your arm. And you can see it almost looks like bits of the ice is melting, but it does not get smaller in size. And they sort of darken. The drops of liquid get darker and darker as they make their way down to your hands. And where the ice makes it to where your ring was, the other 4 fingers, a dark band made from this liquid, slowly begins to form around the base of each finger. And she pulls her hand back in a way, and you can see where the impact of the ice cut into her palm. Hard, heavy breathing, a bit of a shaky hand.
Just gonna quickly whisper a healing word for her. Yeah.
Let me just
Real fast. pull 8 health back for her. Help a little
That'll
bit.
do. Um,
I'm proud.
as this happens and you cast a spell and then kind of focus back inwards, you can feel some of the taut skin and the tightness in your joints seems to loosen a bit, to lax. The ice is still there and prominent, but it seems to just, as if there is a thin barrier trying to place itself between the ice and you. It is not the most obvious feeling, but you can feel just a subtle difference. And she gives you a nod once you heal her and begins to put her glove back on. So, this is not a permanent solution. If you are exposed to any of the things that exacerbate your injuries, such as if you are hit with a large amount of necrotic energy, it could break this seal. Or if you find yourself in too much emotional turmoil, stress, that is something I would attempt to manage. It could also affect the usefulness, the potency of the spell I am using. But eventually, this will fade.
Okay. Thank you.
Russ turns inwards. For the first time, he has been focused on a pinpoint spot off in the distance, turns inwards, and looks past you to her. We can't just do nothing. And she kind of puts a hand up, and through your mind, you hear, I will submit a request to dispatch Russ and companions of his choice if you wish to confront an entity of your choice, this hag. Russ has the right to decline, as do any of his companions, as this is not a mission requested from up top. So he and others may decline as they see fit. Also, instead of using Russ, we could possibly provide a relic for trade. It depends what you think may be more useful. Hags are powerful, often dealing in trade, so we could at least try to tip the scale in your favor. We will not be providing both. That is the best I could try to hope for. And once again, I need to get this approved, but I am sure it will be, considering your status. Congratulations on your wedding.
Yeah. Do you need to know right away? Can I have a day?
There's a party.
Yeah.
You have time.
This party.
And still with these sort of gentle, ragged breaths, she stands. And without saying goodbye or acknowledging either of you, she stands up, picks up her book, and begins walking off. Yeah, she's a real peach, isn't she? The customer service on that one, 10 out of 10.
I feel like there's worse.
Oh, certainly. Usually she shows up with like a more of a clipboard scenario, like a whole big thing, and I have to sit here for hours and I don't know how to just talk in my head, so I also have to talk with my mouth, and then I sound insane. But first off, I'll be there.
It sounded like it could only do one or the other, though.
If you think the relic would be more useful, I'm not the smartest when it comes to what a hag might want, but if you think
Neither do
if
I.
you think the relic, if you guys decide that the relic is a better idea, which I could understand, it will not hurt my feelings.
I don't see why it would be better. But we'll talk to them when we get
Right.
back.
Also, I don't count this as like the special favor. I feel like this is just what I deserve from my benefits, and I'll make a big stink about it if I have to. So if there's anything else you guys want, definitely run it by me.
Should probably ask them.
I am pretty available, especially because you can just like open a tree and I could just like, you know.
Pretty sure I could find you really easily, as long as you're okay with it. Yeah, pretty easily.
If you need to find me, you need to find me.
So about the fancy inn.
Uh-huh.
I know I see that you don't want to go, but if he's there, I want to give something to somebody that's staying there, but I don't want to go alone.
Sure, who are we giving things to?
His name's Eagle. I spied on him a few times and things are weird and I'm trying to make it better.
Well, I know who Eagle is, so let's go repair our relationship.
I didn't know who he was at first. I just kind of heard his name and I tried to spy on him and it worked, and yeah, it just went downhill really fast.
I've heard he's a piece of shit, but I've never met him.
I don't know. He like threw a chair and like all sorts of stuff off the desk the first time I saw him. It was a lot.
He can't even regulate his emotions. Unbearable. And he stands up.
Okay.
It's my buddy's boyfriend.
Russ, I don't think knows that. Russ is just wading through deep waters trying to figure it out.
He'll learn.
Love this man.
Yeah.
Need a little self-awareness there.
Yeah, he's a piece of shit. I'm normal and good. Let's go.
Let's go.
The two of you make your way to the fancier inn, the Song and Siren. Meanwhile, the rest of the team reconvenes at the Hard Fiddle. Is there anything for team chilling at the Hard Fiddle?
Roshan wants to ask if anyone has any notes for home. He says that he's going to send some messages to he plans for Hertha, Dagwood, Alyona, and his aunt. Does anyone have anything they want to say?
Is this by the time Keld and Nana have arrived at the
Yes.
Hard Fiddle? Okay.
He's just looking at Fen. Fen, these are the people I'm going to talk to. You got anything?
You got
Fen's like,
anything going?
no.
Never.
Tell them
Why?
that
I
I hope
made a
they're well.
Tell them I
Tell
still
them
don't
about
want
my
to be touched.
basket.
Yeah,
Tell them my sweet basket.
yeah. Fen was planning on writing a letter to his dad, so he was like, "But wait, Roshan's never met my dad. This is gonna get weird." But
How strange.
Ooh. I think Nana would definitely have some well wishes for Hertha. Nothing important, really. Just kind of catching up and seeing whether or not the little package arrived for. Oh no, Nana's nephew. I
Erling.
can't. Thank you, Erling.
Yeah.
Erling.
I guess then Roshan would, I don't know whether this is before or after, but he would ask when you came back, so you got a date now?
Well, a fighting date. I've been taken on as Tan Rai's daughter's second, and hopefully whoever really hates her
When-
guts just wants to insult her across the room and not actually fight about it. I don't know.
You,
I knew you could do it, Nana.
there's a lot of holes in your attire. Did you fight some? Did you get stabbed a little bit?
Yeah, I got stabbed kind of a bit. Her champion was a gentleman, but oh my goodness, he was out of my league. He blinded me in the very first round, and I couldn't fucking clear my eyes the whole time. So I was just stuck up in his space, hoping I was going to hit him.
Wait,
Did
so
pretty good
You
blind.
fought a porcupine with your eyes closed.
so she had a champion who kicked your butt, but she still chose you anyway?
I knocked him on his ass at one point. I was blind, so that's sort of what I gathered from just being able to hear him fall on his ass. And he surrendered at that point. I don't know, he seemed
Was he
to
hurt?
indicate I didn't seem like it when I finally could see again. I mean, Kel could probably tell you better, but he didn't seem
Nana can
much
force a
put
man
off.
to yield with her eyes closed. We've seen her do it before.
Eh,
We've seen her kill people with her eyes closed.
not
I'm-
my choice.
It just sounds suspicious. If this
I mean,
person was willing to do something for her, I guess maybe she can't afford him. Who was it? Was it someone?
He was this tall, fancy ponce. Had a big hat with a big feather up top.
Very
Oh, what was
fancy.
his name? What was his
Mosher.
name?
Sounds.
Mosher, yes.
I think Roshan would do a spit take if he had some water in his mouth
Choke on terrible
And-
juice.
and be like
Mosher.
Marcher, like Ave's Marcher,
Who?
like the guy that used to be in Ave's group with Dagwood, Marcher.
I never heard about that. Ave never told
That
me about.
does. That rings
Yeah.
a bell. We thought he might have been
Roshan is-
Mikkel.
Roshan has only heard about this through Dagwood. You all would not know this name. Just to put it on the table.
Yeah.
Okay, I thought we were trying to piece out if the kiln might have been one of.
You
yeah.
you could do that kind of tie-in, but being somebody who traveled with Ave is not a piece of information that has been out there.
Yeah, no.
Make as
Yeah,
many
Ave
ties as you
wasn't-
want to make.
Ave wasn't forthright with that information. I got that from Dagwood after, well, when I met her.
Huh. Well, I can
wonder-
understand it not coming up before now, but
I mean, I don't know much about him. I know he's sly, a ladies' man, maybe a man's man. I don't know.
well, he did seem
Dagwood thought
suave.
maybe. I'm going to ask Dagwood about him, why he might be in town, what he's up to.
Okay.
Hope-
If you
I hope
think
they're
you
on good
might get
terms.
something back from her.
Hmm.
Yeah. I'm trying to remember. Was there any sign from Marcher when Nana mentioned her name that he recognized the name?
Go ahead and roll either insight or just intelligence. I'll give you advantage. It was like an hour ago.
Yeah.
To just
Um,
pull back into your recent memory.
Yeah. My insight would be better.
Sure.
Yeah, 21.
You kind of rewind in your brain going back to when he introduced himself and kind of uh, stood tall, a bit of a quirk of a smile, and you introduced yourself, and there was a longer pause than normal for a person introducing themselves. There was a moment where he seemed to falter slightly, and there seemed to be a bit of a nervous energy, which you just attributed to we're about to have to fight each other. But
Yeah.
this nervousness presented itself after you introduced yourself.
You know, it's funny. There was a moment right after we made introductions to each other. He
Wait,
stopped.
so you introduced yourself to him and he didn't say anything? Did you?
He.
Were you Nana or were you? I don't even remember your last alias.
No, I used my real name. I'd introduced myself as such to Tan. I didn't see any reason to use something different for another competitor. He stopped. He just sort of seemed to. It was a longer pause than I would have thought ordinary for someone just introducing themselves, but he didn't. He didn't mention it. Didn't say anything.
Curious. Well,
Huh.
maybe Dagwood will have some idea of whether he can be trusted. He seems to be acting strange.
Well, I
I
I don't
wonder if
know
his
if
feelings are hurt that Nala had never heard of him.
that's possible. I mean, it could also be
Could be.
maybe a good indicator that he parted from Ave on good terms, considering, I don't know, he seemed like he could have fought some more and knocked me on my ass at least a couple times, but didn't choose to.
Yeah.
I thought I was the only one who noticed that.
Well, I mean, it doesn't make any sense otherwise. Like, he got me up and cleared up the blindness, and, like, he didn't look very hurt. Like, certainly
Mm-mm.
not hurt enough to be calling the fight, but I wasn't going to tell him, no, you're wrong.
Take your win where you can, I guess.
I was just glad to be able to see.
Yeah, I don't. It's interesting that there's some sort of connection.
Yeah.
I think Roshan is kind of just zoned out doing the arithmetic all around his face.
Um, and as you prepare your conversation and your sendings and what have you, that is where we are going to take our break for today. We are going to take a 10-minute break, so go get a snack and a drink, and we'll get right back into it to this mystery, this mysterious marcher. We'll see you all in 10
Mysterious
minutes.
Marche.
Thank you, Ted. Mysterious Marche.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dice Cult for episode 142 of On the Backs of Gods. We just took our 10-minute break. Most of the party has reconvened. Nyx is still out with Russ, but the rest of the party is together and are currently discussing sendings and gathering information and trying to figure out this mysterious Marcher. What are we doing, home team?
What are we doing? It's an excellent question.
Looks like you've got some shopping. What have you bought?
Just picked up our armor from a couple of the shops down at the square. They wouldn't allow us to pick up anyone else's who was not the person who commissioned them, so
Yeah, our outfits
we'd
were
have
done.
offered, but yeah.
Oh.
Looks like everybody's is.
Roshan and I might need to pop on down to the shops later. But I'm up for whatever. Grab some lunch at Song of Siren.
Perhaps tomorrow. I do need to get down to Merriment Square anyway. So.
Meantime.
Yeah, I'm going to reach out to Dagwood now. Marcher's bothering me. I think Roshan will find a quieter space in the downstairs there. Or are we in a room? Are we downstairs? I don't know.
I don't know what you guys do. I don't make assumptions anymore because I'm always wrong.
I think we were just
I
sitting in the
pictured
common
the
area.
room. Nope, see, it was the common area.
All right.
Yeah, we were
never
in the
know.
common area, I think.
I'm really bad at it.
So Roshan will find a quieter corner and walk over there, and facing the corner, cast a sending and to Dagwood and say, I hope you're well. Does anything you're working on require our assistance? How many do I have left?
+5.
8. Oh, 13. Nana ran into Marcher. Any reason why he's so shady? All my best.
Okay.
Love ya, hun.
There is a pause. I'm good, thanks. I haven't seen Marcher in years. He's a bit of a scoundrel, but that was a long time ago. I don't know him. And that's where it cuts off.
Dagwood is no help, but she also hasn't spoken nor heard from him in years, so sounds like he's a scoundrel then and a scoundrel now, so
Well, I don't know. He did not strike me as, at the very least...
Doesn't sound like he was a scoundrel if he didn't. I know when he could have.
but he wasn't honest about recognizing her.
True. I don't know. It's
I mean,
odd.
you're
I
quick
don't
not to trust
disagree.
him. Would he be potentially quick not to trust us?
All I'm saying is keep your eyes out for him uh, until we know if we can trust him or not. Let's not throw our faith blindly in him.
He could have just been thrown off by the past. I'm sure he wasn't expecting to see you here.
That's fully possible. I mean, kid daughter of his old adventuring buddy. I can't imagine that's not daughter, sister.
Freudian
Sister.
slip.
Fool. No, that's Mac being tired. Lo siento, folks. Uh, wind that back. Kid sister of his old adventuring buddy would have probably been a bit of a shock. I mean, who knows if he's even heard about Ave's passing.
Yeah, I don't know what the news here in the East is, if they even care about the passing of, well, several chiefs in the West.
Mm. Well, they've certainly got their fill of business to worry about over here, so it wouldn't be shocking.
They know of it at least at the library, but not maybe widespread. Who knows?
Yeah.
You said you ran across him at the Song and Siren.
Yeah, he was drinking in the bar area when Tan went to go and find him.
I wonder if it wouldn't hurt for somebody to go up there and just observe a bit at the Song and Siren.
It's not a bad idea. A bit of recon would probably do us all
I,
good.
I suppose I could do it.
It would be such a hardship for you to go where your beloved Corrine awaits and plays her harp. Yes. No, do you want someone to come along with you? It might be a bit obvious for me to be there if he winds up being there as well, but
Nana, I think if you raise a drink to him like an acquaintance, that's all the more he is, really.
yeah.
Acquaintance that you now recognize. I don't.
One past
Just-
bout under the belt, you know.
Yeah. I don't think you need to obfuscate any more than not talking to him, but an observation's a good idea.
Okay.
But what if we all go, or Nana Keld and I at least, Roshan, you're busy, and I'll keep to myself, and Keld and Nana, you had already been seen together.
Yeah.
You raise your drink. If he comes over and talks, all the better. If not, then we haven't shown our hand, and there's still at least one of the three of us that he doesn't realize are acquainted.
I am
True.
getting hungry.
And we do have a fair bit of money after beating out Ing before, so
Well, it's settled.
We can afford
I'm
it.
going to read, and the rest of you
Roshan
are going
says-
out.
yes. Well, if
Roshan, you know you're more than welcome to come with us.
This sounds very nerdy, but I am very invested in this book.
I'm
Fair
very
enough.
invested in this basket as well, but I'm not going to finish it today. And
So, the magic of this book is such that should I be able to digest its contents in a short time, could be a great boon to my intelligence.
oh,
So I'm hoping.
well,
Hmm.
better yourself, better your magical learnings. I don't see any harm in that. Just don't be a
Is this
stranger.
self-care? Is this self-care?
I don't know. It sounds kind of like
Is this self-care?
maybe.
No.
I don't
Guys,
know.
it's
you
I-
offer
Sean's
It's not. It's not authored by Ayn Rand, is it? Because I've known many a person who thought they were smarter after reading that, but in fact, quite the opposite.
You
Roshan,
know,
you've noticed that there's no author on the book.
I'm not sure who it was written by. There's no author. I mean,
Oh, that can only mean good things.
who knows? Maybe Snowtra penned this. But
For all we know.
I don't think she'd allow it in her library. Way too magical.
Most likely.
Gets
But-
kicked out of the library. Aw.
A sad little book with a gunny sack.
Oh no.
Aw.
Get out.
Well, enjoy your book learnings, and I hope that they pay off. Do let us know if we can get anything for you.
Yeah, do you want us to bring you back a snack or something?
I mean, I won't say no to snacks, but if you can go there and not have a repeat of the last time you were there with Egil and the Drow, that would be boon enough for me.
I think we can keep to ourselves.
Definitely, I can keep to myself and eat something and drink a drink and just sit there.
Cut to later.
I was there
Nana
last.
lost talking to random.
I was there
Well-
last night and caused zero trouble.
Well, let's make
I've
it 2
got
nights in a
Fenn's-
row.
I've got Fenn's example to follow. What could go wrong?
Yeah, Fen, this is cleaner than I've seen you in
A long time. Goodness,
forever.
years? Probably forever.
Well, I had to clean up after the forest because it was terrible, and
You didn't even
just
clean
the
up
orchard
this well
was.
for Ave's wedding.
Well, I borrowed the armor I was wearing for that.
Yeah, because all the
You
rest
could
of it
have
was
you
far
could have
too
washed
dirty.
it first.
This nice
goodness.
armor.
Bro.
I'm just teasing.
So Keld, Nana, and Fen. I'm like, was making my way down the list of people, and I'm just like, and I got to Roshan, and I'm like, for some
Nuh-uh.
reason, just short circuited
him.
my brain. I looked into Joshua's eyes, and I was gone. I'm like, oh no, who
He
else
has
is
that
there?
effect on
That's a
people.
mood.
I was too busy looking in Josh's eyes. But Fen, Nana, Keld, you all make your way towards the song and siren. Roshan, anything besides books, or are we just trying to get through this book that does indeed have a timeline?
Roshan is binge reading. I guess later. Yeah, it's evening-ish, right?
Yeah, sure.
Okay. I guess later in the evening, Roshan would send messages to people if you want to
Sure.
do
What are we
this.
sending?
To Hertha. Good afternoon. Just checking in. We're all hale and hearty. Sending our best from the east. I hope you and Erling are well. Ta-ta.
Hugs, kisses,
Bye, beach.
X's, O's.
Good to hear. Things are fine here as well. Well, sort of physically fine. Politically troubling. Worries from the east.
That'll get a response right away from Roshan. Is there something happening in the east that we should be aware of? Anything we can do to help? I think he'll just leave it there.
I was like, you don't gotta finish it.
Yeah.
You can. Uh, important people have noticed an increase in their troubles and a decrease in ours, causing some speculation. But we're handling as best we can. Ta.
Interesting. Well, that could. Hey, that could be important information at the party. Who knows? Message number 2 is to Aliona.
Mm.
Um, Roshan will start it off by saying, "What's the town we're in? Are we in Garderholm or Jarlsbeck?"
You're in Jarlsbecker.
Okay. There's a fancy party in Jarlsbecker in just a few days. Lots of big wigs, movers and shakers. Hope you're well. Perhaps we'll see you.
Mm. It is good to hear from you. Thank you for information about fancy bigwig party. Seems I am fancy bigwig. Got my own ticket and everything.
Oh,
See you there.
hell yeah. We're gonna have so many friends at this party, it's gonna be like a slumber party.
We know everybody at this party.
We should have been invited in the first place because we know
Yeah.
so many interesting people.
We're very cool. We're a solid 1 degree away from a lot of cool people.
We shouldn't be here.
No.
Where's
we
my
shouldn't.
ticket?
We want them asking
Okay.
why we're not there, not why not why we are there.
We'll
That's true.
see.
And then a final message to Frigga,
Mhm.
Roshan's aunt. Just checking in. Hope things are well at the inn. I miss you and I miss being home. Still working on bringing Rose home.
I miss you too. It's been a while. Maybe check in more. We're good here. I love you.
Roshan cries a single tear, but nobody sees it.
Nobody sees it. 1 second.
Tisk.
I don't think I've ever rolled 4 dice before, all under 10. No one sees it.
Huh.
There might be one person who sees it, but then there's no way. They'd never talk about it. Never.
Never. And I think as the night goes on, Roshan would head up into the room because the hard fiddle's going to get rowdy.
All those
You
people
basically
screaming
get
around.
a really good timer of when the hard fiddle picks up as the door is kicked open. Pours drinks, you stupid bitches. As Tyr and her team enter the space. Um,
And
uh,
now the chaos starts.
as Thor and her and Maggie and Gressa come and kick off what was already like a slightly a buzz night. But it kicks it into high gear, and you make your way upstairs. Um, Meanwhile, let's just check back in with Nyx. You and Russ get to the song and siren. You can hear the sounds of, it's not harp music. It's kind of like a low, sort of tinny rumbling sound. Um, Music adjacent.
Just check if he's in there first. But I know what room is his, so we can just go there too. So,
Right, yeah, let's just walk up to his room. I'm sure that is also a good idea. Um, Listen, you know him significantly better than I do.
it should be fine. That's better than
All,
spying on him, right?
it's true. All I have is rumor, so I got nothing else.
I'll just go there first. She knows it's room 6. He was really loud about it
Mm-hmm.
that first day. Just gonna start
Uh,
walking straight there.
You just bulldoze your way through, Russ following behind swiftly. You can hear, even in the brief moment you are in the lobby, Russ talking to people as he is like, somebody's like, "Oh, Rusty, you're killable," and he's like, "Hey there, I'm sorry, I'm in a bit of a hurry," like immediately recognized, and quickly follows you up the stairs to room 6. Easy enough to find.
No, she's kind enough to knock on the door. Not just gonna try to walk in.
You kick the door open.
Just actually turns into, a spider and goes under it.
You just go under the door. Russ stands
We've
like
already scryed on it.
kind of like bowed up behind you a bit, but also like a step back, a respectful distance from the door to not be just immediately in if somebody answers their space. You wait for a moment. Could I help you?
I don't know that
You hear a
voice.
voice through the door.
Did I get the? Is this not Eagle's room? I'm so sorry. I swear he said it was this one.
I'm so sorry. You're in the wrong spot, baby.
Damn. Well, if he ends up at this room, I have a gift for him. I'm gonna go look downstairs.
Okay. Good luck.
Not this room. Grab Russ's hand. Okay, I think we have to go ask at the desk because I guess maybe he changed rooms. I don't know. He said 6. Like a couple days ago though.
Maybe he changed rooms or he left, and you pull him. You go down to the woman with the bob, and it takes you a second, but standing in front of her, this is not the same woman. They all just have the same haircut.
What?
They are visually very similar, but this is a different woman.
They only had one name tag.
Yeah, they have
They
to share it.
It's all the same uniform. Actually, it's just
Yeah. they're not
Oh, no.
splurging on multiple outfits. It's like everybody has to fit in this skirt. We're not doing anything else.
Jesus. It's like
But she
Abercrombie and
smiles.
Fitch.
How can I help you?
I'm looking for Eagle. I have a gift for him.
One moment. And pulls out a bit of a ledger and begins to go through it. I am so sorry. He does not have a room here.
This guy. Well, he was here. I'll see if he's in the bar. Thank you, though.
Thank you very much. And is pulling it.
You
Just gotta keep going. We're on a
Mhm.
keep
hunt.
moving. Keep moving forward.
You go into the space. There is just a room full of people, and Russ sort of like squeezes your hand, and then immediately is approached by people. Like, oh hey, are you Russ the Unkillable? I saw you last year. Like it is just, it's like a little celebrity walked into the space. As Russ is like, oh, thanks. Thank you very much for appreciating my work. But you kind of, you're like, move, take your crowd over there. And,
Take your fan
um,
club over that way.
get
Get
out
out
of
of here,
my
you
way.
paparazzi, you vultures.
You can see that the music that you were hearing is there is a young man with like a bit of like a triple mohawk situation, and he is sitting on a little stool, and he is running it looks like a little bit of like a kind to you it looks like a stick with a marshmallow at the end, and he is sort of running it around this large tin pot, and it is making just these waves of like resonant sound, and there's three different sizes and just wub, wub, wub sort of sound. No real rhyme or reason to it, just like ambiance in the space of just these low tonal sounds. But you don't see Eagle anywhere. He does not seem to be here.
The drow people aren't there either. I'm in their corner
You do
booth.
not you do not see your drow friends.
Oh.
They are not here currently.
Just kind of sighs. Let's just get juice. I can ask Roshan to send him a message. Set up a meeting, I guess.
Please meet with me.
I have a present.
Right? Right, I remember that one. Yes, it was certainly a year. A fight each day. Crazy, I know. Uh, as he tries to like Russ tries to move his way back into your space and follows you to the bar. This is why I don't go to the fancy places, because everyone's like, "Ooh, let's talk about all of the the dueling."
You're really popular at this one.
I I'm sort of like, I realize I'm not really a party guest. I'm more of like kind of more the entertainment. Somebody's always going to challenge me to something, and everybody's going to come watch. And I'm a bit of a showboater, so making it interesting.
So, just try to look behind this bar. Do you see any juices back there?
Let's see. Why does it smell like burning in here? Why does it just smell like
they burn
smoke?
like this herb when they're making this alcoholic drink. It's real weird. It's
I
too
feel like all you have
fancy.
to do is just drink the alcohol. I don't understand why it has to be like on fire or something.
They put it under a bowl and everything.
But how do? Never mind.
I don't know.
You request juices from the bartender, and a flight of juices are presented to you. Um, which one? Do we just go down the line, or
I think so.
I don't know why I'm so nervous about juice.
We'll just take them like shots, right? We'll
Sure.
see.
Maybe try and see how they taste.
No.
You
No.
yeah, you're not there.
You're-
They start knocking back juices. Um, it's so sweet. Why is it? And you begin to go through your many tiny little glasses of juice, and meanwhile, a hodgepodge team is making their way, and the rest of you, besides Roshan, who is off reading a book, and even though Roshan is in his room upstairs, uh, Thor's voice carries like thunder. There is no escaping the sound. I would love a concentration check.
Aw,
Constitution, please.
goddamn.
That is an 11.
Okay.
Oof, buddy.
You are. I can only assume that her voice does not do more than 10 damage would do. So, you you are able to focus, but it is loud in this space. Uh, but
If he gets
the
to a
rest,
particular
yeah.
if he gets to a particularly juicy portion of this really heavy text, he'll just cast silence on the room and
Just give me a moment.
yeah, I need to read this. Shut up.
I just assume it's just like a book of mind puzzles, just so much Sudoku or something, just pages and pages of Sudoku.
3,000 pages of Sudoku.
Oh,
It's
God.
it's truly a terrible time to be had. But
Yeah,
Roshan is in it
not
to
my
win it.
idea of a good time.
But the rest of you arrive at the song and siren to this sort of low, rumbling tin sound, not the sound of plunky harp music. And there is the beige gnomish man in his usual chair, marking at a book. You walk into the space, and the first thing that catches your eye is Russ and Nyx at the bar. Uh, so they're here and
That's lucky.
sort of doing a scan. Marshare is here. He is at, if the bar is sort of like a wide horseshoe type of shape, like almost more like a bent staple, like you pulled the legs out of a staple and just made it stand up. He is at like the far side closest to the door, so like he wouldn't see you until you get about halfway into the room. But you could see him when you enter. And the room is pretty full. There's a lot of people here.
Okay. Well, might as well
See
get
quite a
some.
few familiar faces.
Yeah, let's get some victuals, some liquor, little bit. Or looks like maybe Nyx and Russ are trying. I think Nyx
What are
mentioned
they
she was going to
drinking?
try some juice. And I guess it makes sense that something like juice would be here, so let's see how that's going.
They
And
have so many.
I mean, I agreed I'd give a couple of them a try, so
Since
why
this
not?
one's like a berry, is it like more than one berry? I can't tell, but
I
it
really
it says
don't
berry,
like any of these. This is just a
right? They're
bad
just
time.
like
No.
they're meant to be mixed with something, right? Like they're
It
just like
has to
very
be.
intense. But do we mix it with water then?
That would just make it taste less like the berry, right?
And if we don't like the berry, then it's not worth putting
What
it
if you
in
mix
water and
them
just
all
tasting.
together?
My brother is the smartest
With
man.
a
He
bit
like
of honey.
Let's
Russ
do
I
it.
like
want grapefruit with a bit of honey.
puts an arm around your shoulder and like pulls you down and like kisses you hard on the cheek.
Oh my god.
All right, mix them together.
Amazing.
He like reaches over and grabs somebody's finished drink and just like pulls the glass over. Thank you. And sets it in front and starts pouring
You
in
weren't
all
gonna
the
use it.
juices.
Yeah,
Science.
I'll help pour more in there.
Yeah, just
Wow.
you just have this like large cup of juices. Nana, as your eyes wander a bit, I think it's hard not to like, and there's Marshare at the bar. Both
Yeah.
of you kind of you like look in his direction, he looks up,
Oh.
and so if
Eyes
you're at the
meet.
bar and he's at the bar,
Uh-huh.
it's a
Yeah,
given.
it's going to happen. Yes. So
He looks at you and um a moment of like, like oh, oh, and then raises his glass in your direction, and then drinks from it.
Uh, I'm sure Nana's like gotten something to drink while she's been watching this juice suicide nonsense going on. Suicide being a combination of all the available flavors from a soda fountain, for those who are unfamiliar. This would be
Mm.
juices instead, of course, but
Which
um,
might stand a better chance, unclear. It's like a
who
fruit punch
knows? It's
now.
not sure. Just it's a fruit punch, which fruit punch is good. We'll see if this fruit punch is any good. But meantime, I guess Nana's probably gotten hold of some kind of drink, and she will, raise that over at Marcher as well, just in return. Like, it was a good fight, so she's happy to be on friendly acquaintance terms.
Okay. All right, and he like pours it out in back into like the smaller cups.
Pass
Okay.
one to everybody.
All right. Let's give it a shot. Why not?
Cheers.
Cheers.
Bottoms up.
You you hear from a few tables away, "Killed!" and a goblin man with a ruff raises
Oh my
his drink
god.
in
Oh
toasts
my
with you
god. Oh
and
my god.
drinks from it as well. Uh,
Does he know you?
Yeah, we met the other day.
That's lovely.
something you know,
I
I'm
didn't get
not
to
like
taste
mad
the
at it.
individual flavors. I could not name any of the ones that just crossed my tongue right now, but
I
it's
don't think you-
interesting.
It's
Sort of
all
just
muddled now.
it sort of tastes like dirt and fruit. Like like when you accidentally bite into the pith and you're like, ugh, like there's sort of like that in there. Maybe that's the issue, is all the pith.
You should just
Mm.
go back to making teas for everybody again. Those were better than this.
Mm.
Well,
I would love to try some of your tea, unless the reactions I'm hearing are unclear. Uh,
Be careful.
It's not.
so,
taste.
what are all of you doing here at the Song and Siren?
Well, I actually was trying to quietly observe the fellow that I just fought for right to be second to Tamrai's daughter.
Which one is he? Just start looking around.
Well, I'd appreciate if you didn't look directly at him once I described him, but his name is Marcher. He's got a big fancy hat, big old feather up there. He's a little bit older. You'll know him the moment you see him. Just give it a second before you go looking, and don't be staring at him for an extended period. I just, according to Roshan, he used to be on Ave's adventuring party before he became chief.
I think you should talk to him, Nana.
Yeah, why not? He's right there.
Nana, get him the
Very
drink.
obviously gesturing to this man.
Get him the drink with the sage, not whatever that was that we all just drank. The
Well, certainly probably won't go far wrong. I'm assuming he's probably drinking something akin to that. He seems like the fancy aromatics and preparation heavy type of drinking.
You look
going.
over to see what he's drinking. He seems to be drinking an ale.
I was gonna say it's just a freaking like.
It's just
Pabst
an
Blue
ale.
Ribbon.
Wow. All right. Well, now that you mention it, I'd say probably that makes sense if he was an adventurer for a long period of time. I'll take an ale over. I think probably it was just like an ale or something light that Nana got for herself in the first place, so she gets another one and takes it on down to Marcher. Why not?
All right. You approach him with drinks. The rest of you watch Nana make her way over. He sees you approach because, once again, you're all sitting at the bar. And
Yeah.
he put like a bit of a smile and a nod as you approach him.
Just wanted to thank you for a rigorous bout earlier. Wanted to get you an ale.
Uh, Much appreciated. Thank you. And he takes the drink from you.
I I really wish I'd been able to actually appreciate any of your footwork or blade work or anything really. It sounded very, very impressive.
Honestly, you, as they say, you get lost in the sauce, right? And
Mm-hmm.
it was an unnecessary amount of sauce, like at the top, you know?
Mm-hmm. I do understand. But I mean, it was in earnest a sincerely good competition. I wouldn't expect any less from as serious stakes as we're expecting going in as someone's second. I wouldn't want to be
Oh,
fought with any less candor.
well, he like looks around. Listen, you earned your victory, no matter what state either of us were in. I was I was never in a position of trying to be a Rise daughter's second.
I see. Uh, if I may ask, why were you her champion, if that's the case?
I I don't want to embarrass her, so keep this between you and I.
My
But
lips are sealed.
uh we had met a couple nights ago. Uh, she seemed nice. We talked for a bit. Um, and when she was in need for a champion, she found me sitting, having a drink, and and it's hard to say no when someone's in distress. So I agreed to just a bit of swordplay.
That makes sense.
Nana, can you
Interesting.
roll insight real fast while you're talking to him?
Mm-hmm. That's a nat 20.
Um, this man presenting very cordially seems to be verging on very intoxicated. Like it
Mm.
seems that maybe high tolerance, maybe just you work at it long enough. Hey, I can talk like a person until then I can't.
Mm-hmm.
Until you hit that wall.
Yep.
But he seems to have had a few drinks after returning.
Okay.
But is not presenting as sloppy, but you can tell a bit of slurring in the words and just it's just something you pick up on.
Okay. So, what is it brings you into town then? I understand there's, of course, the big party and whatnot going on.
It's the big party. I'm here
It's
for
the
the big
big
party.
party. Yeah. Were you
I already
invited? Did you have a ticket?
Oh, yes, I have a ticket.
Mm.
One why I don't need the second position I'm already in.
I was going to say, you seemed as though you were skilled enough that you probably would not need to hang on anyone's coattails.
Uh, I've been for a few years now, and hard to say no to just a bit of fun once a year.
Yeah, certainly. Certainly. Then what is it that you wind up doing a lot of the time? Are you just an adventurer for hire?
Oh, no, no. I don't really do that anymore. I was just helping her out and not really for hire.
Mm.
Why are you at this party?
Well, I'm at this party because my friends and I, we're hoping to find out some personal information One of us is missing a family member, and we're hoping to pick up some threats.
Mm. Well, I wish you the best with that.
I appreciate it. Hopefully, there won't be any cause for us to cross blades any further. But I honestly would love to actually see you work at some point.
I also hope that I don't have to pick up sword at this event. And he looks across the bar at Russ, who is currently as like a little glass tipped downwards, trying to get like the last drop of the juice. It's honestly sort of growing on me. Like I know at first I was like being kind of harsh about it, but
You can have
but
mine
it's
then.
really, you know, honestly, I'm sort of into this juice thing. I really wish it, was alcohol, but juice is juice.
Keld's gonna order a shot of something so we can put it in Russ's juice.
He's like,
Amazing.
let's do a little mixies.
More
Little
mixing.
mixies. Mm.
So,
So
yeah.
you fought with Russ the Gold at some point in the past?
No. God, no. I value keeping myself in one piece.
Ah.
I don't go often picking fights.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. So usually you're just in the party more for the social aspect.
I I come for the fun, no need for social building or this or that. I'm just here to have a good time.
It's well earned after, you know, making an interesting name for yourself. I can only imagine that skills like yours are hard to come by and rather unique, especially just in general among the public. Do you do performances and the like?
I mean, I can handle a lute. But is there and he just sort of like kind of looks at you like a bit puzzled. Can I do you need something?
No, no. I was only intrigued by our bout earlier. I just wanted to speak with you for a little while. I can certainly leave you to your drink if you were a little tapped in that regard.
Non, I need you to roll a deception check for me, please.
Sure. Ha 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 ha. That's a 3.
I I'm going to roll.
Uh-huh. Please do.
The only way is if he gets a nat one, and I will ignore his modifiers in this case. But uh did not roll super high, but was much higher than a 3.
That makes sense.
Do do you know who I am?
Well, I'm aware of your name. Um Not really much of anything else beyond that. Only I almost thought you recognized my name when I introduced myself before we had our bout. Did you?
I can very very easily see this is a bit of a roundabout way to see if I tell you something you already know.
Did you adventure with my brother?
If you are a sister to Ave Hemming's son, then yes.
Yeah. Yeah, he was my older brother, chief of our town.
You're very young.
Yeah. Yeah, I've got to figuring that out.
I it seemed a weird thing to breach, and you didn't seem to recognize me, and so I didn't.
Right, right. I I didn't talk very much about his time before becoming chief, and I'm sad that he didn't. Um, I certainly won't lean on you for old war stories or anything, but it just seemed like something that I couldn't just leave as a question mark. I'd like to know more about who my brother was before he was chief, you know?
Well, I'm sure Chief Hemming's son and Ave are very different people. Were very different people.
I'm coming to learn that.
Um, there's not much to tell. Adventure, drink, camaraderie, and he had to come back and be chief, and we separated.
Mm.
Long and short of it.
What was he like? To you?
He was an arrogant piece of shit. He was full
Yeah.
of himself, and rightfully so. He was brilliant. He earned nearly every drop of arrogance he had in him, and he was personable, and he was incredibly kind, and sometimes a bit too smart for his own good, too curious for his own good, and get you in trouble occasionally, but nothing we couldn't handle, and we all started our own bouts of issues in towns and temples and taverns, and so so he drinks heavily from his drink.
Mm. Yeah. Well, I don't know if that's standard operations for adventuring parties, but it certainly sounds an awful lot like what mine has been doing since we set off, so I suppose that makes me feel a little better.
Well, hopefully we weren't up to some of the same shit that we got ourselves into. We got into to looking around old temples and the like, and those things are filled with traps, and eventually you just get full just pincushion. But
Mm-hmm.
how did he die?
He was pursuing an artifact, something to help our town. And you should know the truth of this, so please understand I'm telling you in confidence. He was trying to parley with some people who crossed our path in the mountains, and they struck him down in parley. Their leader hit him 3 times. I'm sorry.
So Ave walks his way up and is just struck down.
After speaking with them for some time,
Mm.
seemed almost like it was going amicably. I didn't get to hear what they said. I wish I had done.
But must have been the old age. I've never seen Ave surprised by anything or anyone. But chief life, I suppose. Maybe it makes you soft.
Maybe. We took up the mission. We finished it for him. And we saw him given proper rights. So I'm sorry that we didn't know to send word along to you.
It's fine. I don't think I've said his name in casual conversation either. You can see his hand just like has tightened aggressively around his drink. It's a tight grip.
Observing casually, can I see the stress that he's in?
You can see that it doesn't look to be a happy conversation.
Okay. Fen would like to send another drink over, a couple of drinks over that way. To kind of ease the tensions if possible. At least provide a distraction.
More drinks are sent over. Honestly, it tastes. I'm so sorry, Nick. Wait, Keld, I'm not so. I said that I wasn't drinking any alcohol, and you're making me look bad, Keld. It tastes delicious.
Oh, I didn't realize that.
I'm
Oopsie.
trying
It's
to be
fine.
supportive.
It's fine.
I can drink it for you.
Keld, you drink it and then like breathe into my face, and I'll live vicariously through you.
Mm.
I just leans in, open mouth. The man does not need alcohol to be
I'm
at
not
this
going to
level
do that.
24/7.
No,
You don't
indeed.
breathe in his face. But Keld, another drink is set in front of you, and you hear from behind you again, and Keld, as this little goblin man
damn
with
it.
his ruff raises
I
a
love
drink to
him.
you.
That's gonna
and
make its way into
drinks.
the next Goblin Shakespeare.
Oh gosh.
Mm.
I feel like I have to go talk to him now, but I don't know how to talk to him.
But we can't
Bud will
talk to
just
him.
gesture back.
You need tongues.
He seems like yeah, gives you like a thumbs up.
Nice.
Marcher looks at the drinks. And sort of sets his drink back down.
Yeah.
Well, I only traveled with Ave a bit, and it's been some time. Uh, you said you already, cleaned it all up. Nice bow. I would not. I would not follow that man's loose ends. Threads
Good on
into the
you.
shadows. I wouldn't.
I very much appreciate the advice. Unfortunately, rather tangled up in a few threads already, so a bit difficult to extricate at this point. But if I can just find the ends of these few, certainly don't look to be gathering up any more.
Well, I don't know Chief Ave. But you think you untangle from one thread, and then there's one wrapped around your ankle, and so on and so forth until you cut them at the root. He was a complicated man.
Yeah. Yeah. Makes it damn difficult. I love him and I miss him. Complicated though.
He is certainly personable.
Hmm. He was good family, for what it's worth. But
Well, I'm happy to hear that.
I would have liked to know more of his friends. I think he could have been more open about that.
Ugh. Rowdy bunch.
Hmm.
Interesting bunch. Not the chief's friends bunch.
Very much so. No, one of them being devotee of a world-eating snake, you know.
Has he been talking about? Did he tell you about Dagwood and didn't tell you about me?
He did
Because I feel
not.
like I'm the more mild
Honestly,
of the
no.
options if he's going to
You
talk about
are.
people he knows.
You're very correct on that point. He did not speak of Dagwood at any point except in his post-mortem instructions. But it was to do with the artifact that we were securing, and he recommended that we stop by and speak with her. And goodness, that was an interesting meeting.
How how is she? I remember her quite. I remember her quite.
She is quite. She's she is brilliant and has little time for fools, and sadly we're all fairly great fools. So she's been a bit put upon being in our acquaintance, but she's at least been generous with that.
If you can avoid having such a friendship, I would advise it. Uh, Dagwood is helpful and generous until that is no longer on her path to what she wants. Uh, she was always quick to follow and then quickly sidestep and do something that would once again get us all in trouble. It was really just a constant of us getting each other in trouble. But Ave and Dagwood definitely got us in like higher ranking trouble. Like I'd make the law angry or something, and they'd piss off like an ancient spirit in a temple, that sort of stuff. And then we'd have to exorcise a ghost from a goat. There was a ghost in a goat. I actually don't want to talk about the ghost goat right now.
Right,
Uh,
right. But that seems like a rather intense experience. I don't blame you there.
um, as you talk with Marcher, is anybody else doing interesting things of note, or are you guys just like, look at him go, more juice, turn up the juice?
Getting turned up
I'm
on juice.
Fen is observing tea being spilled, and until there's a reason not to, and that's whether or not Corrine comes and starts playing or makes an appearance of any sort. But yeah, Fen is just observing this situation, trying to take notes on behalf of Roshan. Like that's what Fen's doing here.
Being
He's
the
like,
eyes and ears.
I'm gonna bring this
Mm.
back to somebody smarter than me.
I'm
All right.
observant. I'll have somebody else piece it all together.
Kelvin Nix.
Can we just go? Can we go back to the other one? These aren't good.
Honestly, I'm happy to leave at any time and never return, as honestly, the crowd right now is actually like a mild group of assholes. Like we got lucky today.
Roshan owes you a secret, and I need to get him to set up a meeting for me. So I think we should go. Do you want to come with Cal, or are you going to stay here and watch the interaction that I'm apparently not allowed to be part of?
Why aren't you allowed to be part of it?
What?
You're so look at you.
I don't know. They think I cause trouble or something.
I haven't seen you cause trouble once.
Yeah.
Kelt, have you ate?
Not yet. I was just.
Buddy.
Let's get you some food.
You stay here and eat. Let's go.
Okay, goodbye.
Calvin,
Russ,
you
want to hang out with
comfortable?
us while she leaves?
Oh, Fen, you are my best friend. But if I let that woman walk home by herself, I am
Fen
a
blushes.
world of hurt.
Fen's stripes go so red.
Cute. Adorable.
So you have fun with your drinks or whatever it is you're doing here, and keep it up. But
All right,
the missus.
we'll see you later, buddy. No, I understand. And Nick's nothing personal, but you're being a real buzzkill right now.
Oh my god.
Fen, you have to be careful. I might have to I might
Punch
have
you a
to
little
bow
bit.
up just out of
He
obligation.
he could threaten you to a duel
Yeah.
in a couple days if you're not careful.
Yeah,
Everyone here
he's
would
the
love to
one
watch a
person in the
duel.
world. He's the one person in the world who I'm certain could kick my ass.
And I think we can certainly 100% agree on that together. But I feel that way about nearly everyone, so I really have like a bad judgment of that 99% of the time. It's hubris. And one day it'll be my folly, but you know what, right now, certainly not.
Yep.
As soon as he turns around and walks away, I'm gonna slap him ass with my click again. The towel slap again on the ass. It has to happen.
Just bros broing.
Just
Bros
dudes
being
being
guys.
pals.
Just dudes being pals.
There's a wink. There's a prompt wink.
Nix, you need to talk to your friends. And just
I
like
don't know
this
what
big
he's
smile on his face. Look at him, he's coming out of his shell. And walks out with you.
It's adorable.
This isn't exactly the place I'd expect Fen to want to hang out. as you both are walking outside.
He met a harpist and the first time we were here, and I think he keeps going to see her because he's going to the party with her.
Oh, is there like a... What harpist?
Her name is Kareen.
Well, Fen is certainly shooting high, isn't he? He's shooting for the stars on that one.
So you know her. You have to tell me everything. He doesn't tell us anything except for how great she is, so I don't know anything about her.
Can we wait till we're
Yeah,
back at the room?
that's fine.
I
Just walk a
hate
little
to
faster though.
Yeah. Hate to be spewing people's business in public, because I only can fight so many duels in a day. And I'm sure there are many a men that would be bludgeoned to death for that woman. I can only assume. And I'm sure at least one of them could kick my ass, and we've already established it's not Fen, but I'm sure one of them could.
I probably could, but I'm not going to.
Wait, you probably could kick my ass? Is that what you're implying?
Yes.
Listen, if I was going to do like a pool of like you and your friends, like who could possibly kick Russ's ass, you and Keld are the only ones I'm worried about.
Yeah, agreed. It's kind of concerning. I think Nana's going as somebody second, and it's really concerning.
I hope God forbid I have to, the one to punch.
At least we know that you aren't going to kill her. She'll just be asleep for the rest of the day.
Yeah, I will be very frank with you. I've only killed one person at these parties, and then after I did that, everybody agreed to my terms of not to the death.
See, that's fine.
I'm sure Nana's not with somebody that we don't pick fights. My boss does not pick fights. People challenge him. He's never challenged anyone to a fight. So as long as her person isn't out for blood, we're fine.
Every
Do
week.
you hear the children scream?
Yes, constantly. We must be getting close to the inn. They're screaming again.
The ladies are here.
Oh god.
As you
Murder
approach,
chain!
Angel! Just yelling Angel from a block away. Just yelling Angel at the tavern. It takes
Unless
a hot
Roshan
second
has
to pick
silence
up on it, Roshan, but eventually you can hear the sounds of Angel on the horizon.
Roshan will calmly and quietly go over to the door and lock it.
To the tavern or to your room?
To the room.
Bars
Oh,
the
we're just
tavern.
gonna bar the tavern. Nobody else comes in.
Sorry, tavern's closed.
Nope.
The two of you make your way to the tavern. Keld, you are presented with what looks like a big steamed bun, but somebody took the time to put stencils on it and sprinkle different colored powders on it to make it worth the cost and make it cute, but it's just a steamed bun of vegetables and meat. But they made it cute though, so it's expensive. But you are presented with food, and Marshare looks to you, Nana. I'm sure plenty of people have said to you that you should not attend this event because blah blah blah, and I'm not going to add to that because uh, there's a few diamonds in the rough, and I hope who you are looking for is one of them. But it's certainly a large rough.
Yeah, it's the impression I've been getting.
And hopefully you can keep Tan out of trouble, uh, because sometimes there's a domino effect of combat. So if you
Hmm.
happen to be in one fight and win and people are impressed, other people may step up to also have combat the following days.
I see. Okay. So any professional tips on how to keep Tan from stirring up any more miscontent than has already been?
She seems to have a good head on her shoulders. She's just a bit blunt. So if you're able to just smooth things out with pleases and thank yous, I feel like you'll get through this.
All right. Yeah, add in pleases and thank yous here and there. I can certainly manage. I appreciate it.
Well, I probably should get to bed.
That seems wise, and I think some of my friends are getting antsy, hoping to leave, so it's good to see you, Marche.
Of course, stay safe.
You as
And
well.
he gets up and heads up, and it looks like he begins to make his way up the stairwell. Uh, Keld is slowly pushing a bun into his mouth. It seems to be like some sort of like dehydrated fruits or something to give it like a bit of a sweet taste, these powders on top. It's very
Oh,
strange and interesting, but like not bad. So it gives it like kind of a tart hit. You're like, oh.
yeah.
Yeah, definitely admiring it as I consume it.
Yeah, this is it's getting pretty late. I would say you're kind of in the 7 and 8 category of the night, and no Corrine.
Hmm.
Is Ambiance Man still going?
Yeah, this dude is just still with his 3 mohawks, just wum 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 brick, and just it's a bop to hit. He looks like he is lost in this bop, you know?
Hmm.
This is spiritual for
Wow.
this person. He is lost in the bop. But there's no sign of a beautiful woman in a red dress and a large harp. And it
Hmm.
is certainly the time that she had stated yesterday,
Hmm.
but no Corrine.
Oh dear. You're certain it was today and this hour she said she'd be playing next?
I thought so. I'm gonna stay here, just in case. Might have been some miscommunication. I'll be here. I'll make my way back to the hard fiddle before sunrise. But go ahead. I'm not gonna make anyone stay with me. I know the the drinks here, the food here, the company here is not for everyone. But go ahead, and I'll make my way home. It's no problem.
Well, I mean, if you're sure you don't want to put in a message with the front desk or anything, see whether or not maybe she's just taken ill.
No, it's fine. I'm sure she's fine. There's might have been a miscommunication, but it's all right. I'm maybe she went tomorrow. Either way, I don't want to miss her if it was a problem on my end. If I made the mistake.
Okay. All right. Well, you know you can get
You're
in touch
welcome to
with
stay with
us.
me and have a no. You're welcome to stay and have a drink with me if you like. But it's all right. It's fine.
Well, have Nix and Russ already departed, and it's just
Yeah,
Keld in
they're
front of
gone.
me?
It's just you guys.
Us
Just you
three.
guys.
Well, I mean, I can
Just the
stay.
dudes.
I can
Just
stay
the dudes
one.
being bros.
Yeah. I can stay one more drink at the very least, and We'll see after that.
Yeah, Roshan gave me a fistful of money. I didn't spend any of it, so we can drink. We can have drinks here.
What do you think, Kel? Do you need to head back and rest up, or
I might head back just to see what's going on over there.
sure,
Right.
absolutely.
All
You'll
right,
be
we'll
all
see
right
you.
heading back on your own.
Okay.
Okay.
Kel, you depart and begin making the long walk back to the Hard Fiddle. Meanwhile, Roshan, it sounds like a large force hits against your door, like it expected to fully go through a door like a normal person, but it just kind of like bows a little bit.
Jesus Christ.
Nix, did he? Angel, did you know your door's locked?
Roshan just says nobody's home.
1 second. But wild shape into a spider and get in there and unlock it.
A little spider climbs in and then turns back into Nix, who unlocks the door.
Oh,
Roshan
weird. It was open the
probably
whole time.
Roshan probably shrieks as he was going to unlock the door, and then Nix.
Then Nix is just right in front of him.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Hello. Welcome.
Hey there. I'll close the door, says she. And like comes in and closes the door behind him. So, it honestly looks like nothing fun's been going on in here. Is that like a correct assessment, or?
Yes. Yep. No fun here.
Hmm. He looks at the terrible giant tome. I fully believe that. I believe that with all my heart.
You read it all day?
No, I had brunch, and then I had a drink downstairs, and then I
This
read
guy.
it for the rest of the day.
It looks terrible. It looks like I'm looking at it right now. It's open. Those are words. And it is just water off a duck's back, you know?
I'm just hoping that it'll give me any kind of edge at the party. I don't want to be. I don't know. I wouldn't say I'm dumb, but I don't want to be of middling smartness there either. I'd like to. I'd like to know things.
Wow, good segue. I, too, would love to know things, Angel, as I was promised a little bit of a sneaky secret.
Well, what would you like to know?
Oh, you know.
The old razzle dazzle, huh?
Yeah, I was inside of a worm at the time of the razzle dazzle and didn't get to experience it. And it's not like you landed and then it was like, and here's the lore, you know. Drop the lore atop me.
Roshan will pull a glove off and show his hand to Russ. It's some tattoos given to me by a crazy lady. Jinli, actually. Have you heard of her? Pink. Sucks.
She's terrible.
Honestly, she actually sounds very familiar. Not somebody like that I've spoken to, but like I can picture them in a fancy dress, walking around being an asshole like everyone else. Like I can see it.
Yeah. Well, I didn't know she gave them to me, but then she saw them at the spa, and I mean, usually I don't flaunt them, period. But I thought maybe just this once it'll be cool.
Why
Well,
wouldn't you? Why wouldn't you flaunt them? I understand that, like, this one time you ran into like a bitch about it, but
well, it's a whole lot more taboo at home. And the time that I got it out over here wasn't great either. Just maybe it's bad luck, but maybe it's also safer to just be a little quieter, be a little inconspicuous.
I have never thought of that being an option when it comes to oneself, you know? Like, you're going on a mission, maybe I should be a little, subdued. Sure, fine. But about existing. And did anyone else bat an eye? Or just you happened to run into one shitty person where all the shitty people were sort of congregating?
Uh, no, it was just the one. Usually eyelashes don't bat when they see me. They just kind of go wide for a while.
I tried to tell him I'd get a matching one.
That's fun.
Right?
You should get it. There's nothing really, I think you'd look great.
See? Get not on this hand, because this has the other thing on it now. This hand.
Oh, what's the other thing?
Got stuff to stop the ice temporarily. But the other hand, free. Free for a tattoo.
It is a very
mean-
available hand.
See,
I would say you should think about it. Hand tattoos sound painful. Also, I didn't like. It's not a tattoo. I don't.
but it
It's
looks
magic.
like one.
It does look like one. It is. I did
Are
not
you
have to
saying-
sit under a needle for hours to get it.
Are you saying you don't want a friendship tattoo?
I think a friendship tattoo is a great idea.
Okay, then it's settled. Well, I'll make sure to get that.
Seems pretty settled.
But I think we should get something that like we could match. And if this ever disappears off of me,
Well, then you can re-get it, and it'll be fine. We'll rematch.
I mean, if that's what you really want, sure.
They look fun. I like it. Also,
They're-
I need a favor.
What do you need? A favor from me?
Can you help me meet up with Eagle? I have a gift. To apologize for all of the things.
Oh. I suppose. Yeah.
He wasn't in room 6. I checked.
You went up to the room?
Yeah, there's somebody else in there.
But he wasn't.
No, they said he's not staying there. So,
Well, he does hate it there.
I figured it might be bad to, spy on him again just to see where he is.
Well, he was just in town this afternoon. I haven't seen the ladies he was with, so
I don't know, but you could send him a message.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'll reach out. And he thinks it's awkward to look at Nyx in the face while he's doing this, so he just turns off to the side and talks to the empty air beside her, and says, my friend Nyx would like to present you with a gift. Are you free sometime tomorrow? I'd be happy to see you too. Smooches.
Yes. Hello. Um, hey, Valrone. Still in my meeting. Can talk tomorrow. I'll clue you in.
It sounds like he's busy with elf stuff, but
He's underground.
we'll be
again.
free
God.
tomorrow, so I'll let you know.
Okay. Yeah, I don't feel like going down where there's a war to look for him, so.
Yeah, that sounds unsafe.
I don't know anything about that, but I'm going to third bad idea.
Your husband, he's so smart, so knowledgeable.
I agree.
That's what they say about me. It's Russ the Wise, is what they usually say. But that's not at parties, but casual.
Everywhere else.
Everywhere else, Russ the Wise.
How many titles do you have?
That makes at least 3.
That's at least 3. So, at least 3. I'm always available to vet titles.
You might be able to
Okay.
get another one if you come to our home. Maybe we could get you a 4th title.
Yeah,
Sure,
seems legit.
of course. Count me in.
What would he be, the middle
I'm sure we
part?
could figure out the middle pot. Copper pot.
Russ the
Um,
saucepan.
Ross the saucepan.
The Russ fan?
Nodding at all the options. He doesn't get it, but he's like, I'll take a title. And you laugh, and he sort of leans in next to you, Roshan. He's sort of kind of sitting on his toes, sort of bent knees. If you feel uncomfortable showing your markings, that is your choice to make. If you don't want to show them to anybody and you want to keep them hidden, I cannot speak for the people of the West, but I can speak for the people of the East. What comes from the dirt has saved each and every one of us. It is what keeps that skull going. It is what turns the lights on. It is what keeps the people breathing. It brought life for these people who were living in shambles. A new city made of tents and bits of bark turned into a metropolis. It became a beautiful place when drawing from the earth, when it's done right. And you, I don't see anything wrong with you.
I think during that, Roshan's stomach drops for a different reason, and that's that he doesn't know what the future of corruption is in the West. Like,
Mm-hmm.
what's going to happen when he deals with Bosch? He has no idea, but he's also not going to say that to Russ. So I think he just nods and says, "Thank you. Very kind words."
There is a place for everyone. Sometimes you just have to look a little harder for it, Angel, and just stands and ruffles your hair in the process. There you go. Relaxed. Casual. Um,
I think
and mhm.
at that point, Roshan stands because it feels like the energy in the room is of Nyx and Russ leaving and getting privacy.
This is
Did I
what
read
he's
that
talking
wrong?
about.
Or maybe that's just the vibe that Roshan is giving off. Like, it's time for me to read my good night stories.
I got books.
Gonna lock us out again. Okay.
Okay.
You don't have to push, and is like moving towards the door like he is being forcibly moved to the door.
On the way to the door, Roshan looks back to the desk and then back to Nyx, and then reaches into the bag of holding and pulls out several gold pieces and says, had a thought, Nyx. I'm really trying to finish this book as quickly as possible.
Right.
Would you go, if you're out tomorrow, and get Keld one of those fancy wooden spoons that stirs the pot on its own?
Yeah, I have my own money though. But sure, just take.
Yeah. I just.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's a book.
It's.
Mm-hmm. You enjoy that. I will happily not read the book and go do other things.
And I will happily read the book.
My name's
Thank
Angel.
you.
I have a big book to read. Can you go buy me a spoon? And like Russ makes his way out of the room.
Yeah. So do I bring the spoon back to you, or do I?
Do we deliver it to you directly?
No.
Do I need to put it in a box like with a bow, like
with a little bow?
I think we should do it that way. Yeah. All right. We'll come back.
We're gonna
with a
go get
box
a
with a bow tomorrow.
We got it. We've got it.
Got it.
It doesn't need a box or a bow. If you want to get that, maybe Keld would find that nice. You know what he likes.
Got it. We'll get it back to you tomorrow. Just shut the door behind her and keep walking.
You can give it to Keld. I don't need it.
Is this just like a... And then the door comes and he's like, understood.
How will Keld open the ribbon on the box with only one hand?
Wow.
With his
Guys.
Ableist.
Hey, I didn't say it was going to tie the box shut, just that there would be a bow on top.
We're just putting a bow on the front. We're putting
Okay,
6
okay.
bows on the front. We're buying out all the bows of this place.
Just
So,
covered
are
in
we going
bows.
downstairs or do you want to stay up here? And then we go to the spoon store tomorrow or something?
I didn't know there was one.
I've never heard of a spoon store, but I'm sure we could find something.
Just a quick stop by the Spoon Mart.
So
Maybe there's a
welcome to
whole
spoons.
Super
There's
spoon
only
Mart.
one way to
More.
find out.
We can go downstairs for a bit. I'm
Let's
up
go.
for anything.
I'm perpetually also up for anything.
That's a much better crowd down there. So.
Less books, just as much, self-esteem issues, but they covered with drink. And Resta begins to hop his way down the stairs. But we have to reveal our emotional securities. No drinks for us. And
You're allowed to
makes
have
his way.
one.
Nope. Everyone's looking at a sober, unkillable man. I'm heightened.
Yikes.
I'm at my... I can't get any better than this. I'm at my peak.
Holy shit.
And the two of you make your way down to the sounds of ruckus entertainment and drink and people having a good time without the formalities of high society, while Fen and Nana sit. And it's 9 p.m. and it's 10 p.m.
Yeah, so I'm sure that the disappointment is building on Fen, but Fen and Nana are still buddies. So, like,
Yeah.
I think Fen is, like, taking it hard inside. But I don't think it's, like heartbreaking. Like
Okay.
Yeah,
he's still got not. He
he's
still has
not
Nana
alone.
there.
Yeah,
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 Yeah.
he's
he's
hanging out
not
with a friend.
just. Yeah, he's
Yeah.
not sitting there like
By
making his friend
himself.
uncomfortable. You know, but by his own sadness. Like I think it's. I think it's a good thing that Nana is there for Fen. Is what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When do you guys tap out? 11 p.m.
Golly. I mean,
11:30.
it's probably about that time, Fen. She's not going to perform this late, is she?
Uh, uh, no, I'm sure probably not. I must have misunderstood the time. Um,
Or maybe
we can go
something came
back.
up, you know. You know, it could have just been a change of plans.
Yeah, not everyone has a Roshan to put messages into someone's head.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't even ask if there was a message for me. I'm not sure how she would get a message to me, but yeah, let's go back to the hard fiddle
Mm-hmm.
and we'll get our rest and maybe she meant tomorrow. No,
Perhaps.
it's all right. Uh,
Yeah.
I'll- I'm
Do
wearing
you
the
want to
same
leave
thing.
a message
No,
for her
no,
first?
no. That'd
Okay.
be embarrassing.
All right.
I'm wearing the same thing I was wearing yesterday. Maybe that's what it is. That's embarrassing. Uh, we'll
You
stop
don't think
by.
she'd have just
Uh,
passed by the door, saw that you were wearing the same thing, and decided, no, I'm not going to perform
it's
tonight?
it's still embarrassing. We'll stop
All
by
right.
Merriment Square and we'll pick up our new outfits. We'll all look a
We
little
might have to
better.
do that tomorrow. It's rather
Yeah,
late.
yeah. No. We'll stop by tomorrow on the
All
way
right.
back up here.
Okay.
We'll come back up here. The food's. I mean, Keld's not cooking because of the hand. So
Right.
the food's better here than it is there, right?
I rather think so. Oh, Nana's gonna get a little something to go to bring back to Roshan. Maybe like a pastry, something small.
Yeah, you get a nice little pastry. Looks like it has some sort of fruit or berry compote inside, and you
Hmm.
take that and, one last look to be like, is. Yeah, people are starting to leave. Music is dying down, and the two of you eventually decide to make your way back to the hard fiddle.
Mhm.
Keld, you make your way inside and are greeted by the ladies who shout in your direction. They all shout at the same time, so who knows what they're saying. But
Forever
drinks are
changed.
immediately shoved in your direction as you're sort of dragged up to the bar. Uh, Thor kind of like leans against the bar next to you. Hey, so same arrangement? All right. And kind of like, okay. And then grabs her own drink. And you're like, cool. As you take your drink, you can see the bartender looking at you. See, I was confused the other night because you were blue. And I was like, I think that's the guy that I think that's him, but you were blue and now you're not blue, so I was able to recognize you a bit better. Sorry.
Yeah, I fell into a bit of a curse, but all fixed.
Oh, yeah. Ain't ain't that the truth? Always falling into curses sometimes. Sometimes you do. Damned if you don't. Um, I would have given this to you the other day, but whoopsie poopsie. Uh, and he reaches into the pocket of an apron and pulls out a letter and hands it to you.
Hmm.
I was told to give it to the big green guy, and I got now that's you. Here you
Mm,
go, and hands you this letter.
Big green
thanks.
guy. Uh-oh.
Do I recognize anything about this unopened letter?
It looks to be like a pretty fancy little envelope.
Hmm.
um Thor is like leaning over, Are you gonna open it?
Yeah.
Awesome. Uh,
With his one hand.
he stares at it for half a moment, and
Eh.
your face is pushed back as Thor tears it open at the top,
Mm.
and you are greeted with like a subtle perfume smell as you pull out this letter, kind of shake it open, and in beautiful script, "Hey, handsome, it's been some time since I wrote. Let's talk. Meet me at the Two Fish Fountain, noon. I heard you're popular. You can bring your friends if you want. Love, Lucinda, Lucy, Stone Daughter." Who's that?
Do I remember who this is?
You have never heard of a Lucinda Lucy Stone Daughter in your life. As you stare at this letter in front of you, that is where we are going to stop for tonight. Thank
Secret
you all for being
admirer.
here. Ooh. Thank you all for being here. We really appreciate it. We love telling you guys this story here at the Dice Cult, the stuff and the things, you know the spiel. If you head over to youtube.com/the Dice Cult, you can watch all past episodes of On the Backs of Gods, put together your own threads, and put them in the chat. What are your theories? I love to hear a good tinfoil. I love a good tinfoil. If you'd like to keep up with us, we are at Backs of Gods on Instagram and Twitter. If you'd like to keep up with all of us, we are at the Dice Cult on Instagram and Twitter. Once again, thank you for being here. We really appreciate it. We love telling you guys the story. Katie's very talented and is going to put a link to her beautiful dice in the thing. You
Yes.
all know it. You love it. Thank you again.
Sweet
We will be here
dice.
same time, same place, Mondays at 8 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and we will see you guys next time. Good night, everybody.
Thanks for joining us, cultists.
Good night.